Hey, aloha folks, and welcome to the Klipper Golf Course. Today, I have the distinct honor and pleasure of being here with my good friend, Col Mark Dungan, United States Marine Corps retired. Welcome to the channel, sir.
Thank you, Kevin.
So we're here to talk, and Col Dungan is a special guest, not only because he's a good friend, but because of the reason why he is a good friend. He is a good friend of mine because I've been working on the base now here for about 16 and a half years. And when I first arrived here in 2008, Col Dungan was our base commander. So he is my first base commander. And so that's one honor. And then after Col Dungan retired, Mrs. Dungan, Bonnie Dungan, decided to take up golf so they could spend some of their retirement time together golfing. And I had the honor of fitting her for her first set of golf clubs. And then they became regular customers or regular patrons of our golf course. So Col Dungan is out at the golf course probably a couple days a week. And so he's like my neighbor.
Yes.
And so, yeah, I get to spend a lot of time with him. But Col Dungan, thank you so much for doing this with us.
Well, again, thank you for inviting me, Kevin. And it's an honor to be here, too, because it's a privilege to be able to play this golf course. And I didn't think I'd be able to retire in Hawaii, but my wife said this is where we're retiring, so I agreed with her. And then once we got to play golf together, it was even more special being out here on the Klipper. So again, thank you for fitting her for clubs. And Leland was able to give her golf lessons. That was a Christmas gift from me to her one year, and it paid off very well.
Yes, yes. But Col Dungan, so getting back to your decision to retire and remain in Hawaii, right?
Yes.
How did you folks come to that decision? What was it about retiring in Hawaii that was attractive to you?
Well, we had spent almost 35 years in the Marine Corps, and Bonnie and I had moved 17 times. This is the only duty location that we came back to twice in the Marine Corps. And when we landed in 1999 to come here to be a squadron commander down in MAG 24, she fell in love with the place, and I would say I did too. And we had no idea we would be stationed here again. And when we had the opportunity to retire, we did. And this is a special place because of the people, not just the location, but the aloha. No kidding, that people have shown us since we first came here in '99. It's a place you want to come back to.
Yeah.
And we decided we wanted to live here forever.
Okay, that's so great. And you know what? With all due respect, and this is just my opinion, but I've been working on this base, right, for quite a while now, right? And I've had an observation. There are certain people that come here, right, from wherever they come from to spend 3 years or so on the base, right, because they're assigned to it. And there's a good amount of them that say, I cannot stand it here. I can't wait to get out of here and go back to such and such a place. And then there's another group of people that say, oh my God, I just love it here. I don't ever want to leave. I'm just dreading the day that we have to PCS, right?
Yes.
But what I noticed, okay, this is my opinion, but what I've noticed is that you talk about you stayed here because of the love of the people and the aloha spirit. But you want to know what's funny? Is I believe, my observation is that I believe that the aloha spirit is within the people who appreciate that and want to stay.
Oh, yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's like, I think the aloha spirit is universal, but it's just like, it's well known in Hawaii and different people call it different things, you know, but I think you connect with it. And so it was just like, it's like, oh my gosh, we're at home, right?
Well, some people, and when I was a base commander, we did the orientation briefs in the theater.
Yeah.
And I would try to emphasize to all the new young Marines, please don't spend 3 years on the base. Get out in the community.
Great advice.
And interact with the people.
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, get off of Oahu
Yeah.
and go visit the other islands, because there's so much to do out here
Yeah.
in the Hawaiian Islands. You don't want to be 3-4 years and leaving your tour to go someplace else and get on the plane and wish you had not seen those other places.
Right.
So
great,
I told
great
them to take
advice.
advantage of it. And this is a special place. And we used to visit Volcano up on the Big Island. And
I remember when you used to go.
Oh, Bonnie and I played Volcano Country Club, I guess it is. It's probably not open anymore, but it's right near the Kilauea Lodge, you know, the military recreation place that the Army runs. So we used to take advantage of that golf course as well.
You used to go there annually, right?
Yes, I would go there for our anniversary in October. So yeah, we'll be married to 48 years this October.
That's great.
Yeah.
And did you stop going there because of COVID? Is that what ended it?
It was when COVID, we stopped going there from COVID, yes.
Okay, and have you started again, or you
Haven't been back. The restaurant closed down there, and the golf course I don't think is open anymore.
Oh, shucks. Oh well, but you had good times.
Yes, but the Klipper is closer.
Yes. Oh my goodness. But yeah, and you know what? That's great advice you gave to your Marines, and because the neighbor islands are so beautiful. Yeah. Which is your favorite? Do you have a favorite?
Oahu.
Yeah.
Well, I would say Oahu. You know, Kailua, Kaneohe, where we lived. And we lived in Kaneohe before we lived on the base. We also lived over in Makalapa when I was at Camp Smith. But when I had orders to come back here as a deputy, we were so excited to come back to live on Keve, and we lived on Hilltop a couple times, and so we were like coming home.
Yeah.
Because again, it's the only place we came back to the second time.
Neat.
And then retiring, we decided we wanted to be close to the base to be able to still enjoy the base functions and activities here. The commissary, I mean, medical. This is just a wonderful place to retire from the military.
That's great. You know, you talk about coming back. When you say the second time coming around, the person that comes to mind is your good friend, Colonel Carberry.
Oh yes.
Because he was the first person, if I remember correctly, he's the first person I experienced 2 times.
Yes, yes.
Because he was here when I first got here. I got to know him well because he was running the Commander's Cup for you, remember?
Correct. Yeah.
And so he'd always come in with his manila envelope full of cash.
Yes.
He'd drop it on the counter. He goes, "Here you go."
He was the base staff judge advocate for my head legal person when I was a base commander. And then he later came back as the judge for this district. So we crossed paths again twice. And yes, he ran the Commander's Cup when Sergeant Major Fearley was the base Sergeant Major.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember when.
No, I don't.
When Sergeant Major Fearley was going to retire, but then the Marine Corps selected him to be the 3MEF Sergeant Major, which is a big step up. From working for a colonel, he'd be working for a 3-star general in Okinawa.
Okay.
And so on his going away, it was part of the Commander's Cup that we did a going away for Sergeant Major Fearley. And I had rigged the coupons so that Sergeant Major Fearley would get selected for a brand new putter.
Nice.
The problem was I hadn't briefed Colonel Carberry properly, so he wasn't in on the gig, and he kept ignoring me, and I kept saying, "You need to pull this ticket out because it's something going on." And I finally convinced him to pull the ticket out, and when he did, Sergeant Major Fairley almost fell out of his chair because all the golf tournaments that Sergeant Major Fairley and I participated in the Commander's Cup, we never won anything other than a coffee cup. And so I wanted to ensure Sergeant Major Fairley got something on the way leaving, and he did. It was a nice ping putter. And
I bet you had it engraved and everything.
It was engraved with Sergeant Major Fairley, Dan Fairley, 3MEF Sergeant Major. And I mean, he was pretty surprised.
Oh, nice. That is nice. And good old Colonel Carberry, I tell you, he's quite a character.
Yeah.
And he is quite a ham as well. He loved being the MC. I remember him being the MC up there, and oh boy, what a show.
Well, we played golf a lot on Saturdays, along with Chris Blanchard, the chief of staff, and we were regulars out here. First tee time on Saturdays. We enjoyed a nice round of golf, We couldn't talk any politics though, because we just enjoyed the golf.
Good. No, that's nice. But okay, so folks, I know a lot of you that are watching are regular customers, and probably avid Commanders Cup followers and participants. But Colonel Dungan, let's talk about the Commanders Cup, because I don't even know what started the Commanders Cup, because I know it's something that Colonel Carberry was in charge of, but when he departed, that's when we took it over.
Yeah.
So share about where did the Commanders Cup originate?
It originated with Colonel Peoples, who was the deputy commander long before me. I don't even remember what year it was, but he retired and then ran the College of Continuing Education.
Okay.
He started the Commanders Cup for one of the general officers when it was a general officer in charge of the base. But then when he retired, it sort of fell along the wayside, and some of the succeeding commanding generals did not play golf. General Parker was probably the last one that played golf, and then when General McAfee came in, he wasn't a golfer, so it wasn't as popular. And then when I became the deputy, I decided working for General Hummer, I asked him if we could start it up again, and he thought it would be a great idea. And of course, General Hummer was just starting to play golf too, so it was good for both of us. And that's how the Commanders Cup got started again when I was the deputy.
So we have you to thank for that.
And General Hummer.
Well, there you go, folks. Everyone, you are the man, because that's our best event. Everyone loves the Commanders Cup.
Well, I do know it was always sold out, and sometimes we had too many people playing in it, but that was a good thing.
Yes, no, and it's still the same way. We sell it out every time. There's a rare occasion when, a lot of things are going on for school or what have you, but for the most part, it sells out all the time. And thank you so much for getting that, making that happen, because, I know the Commanders Cup has evolved over the years, but in its current status or whatever, the way it is now, it's kind of a really nice breaking bread kind of event for the base, because you have your active duty, and of course your active duty is constantly changing.
Yep.
Right? So those faces, they change, but you have your retirees, you have your DOD that work aboard the base, and then some of their guests, and because of this, it's kind of like everybody that is a regular of the Klipper, that calls us their home course, gets together quarterly.
Yes.
And breaks bread, and it's wonderful. And so thank you so much for making that happen.
Thank you for getting the sponsors to participate in it too, because the prizes you give out are very nice.
Yeah.
But I think the meal is even better.
Yeah.
When we had the big meals afterwards, like you said, breaking bread.
Goodness.
We looked forward to those meals. No matter what we scored on the golf course, we knew we had a good meal coming.
I tell you what, and when we're up there doing, we're posting the scores.
Yep.
And giving away the prizes, and we're back there, Kendrick's behind the camera, we're drooling and looking at our chops going, oh man. But
no one goes away hungry.
It's a good time. It's a really good time though. And yeah, we love the Commanders Cups. And so yeah, thanks for making that happen. But Colonel Dungan, okay, so we're kind of talking a little bit about current affairs, but let's go back a little bit. So where are you from, Colonel Dungan? Where were you born and raised?
I was born in a farmhouse in Westmoreland County, Virginia. One of 8 children. The first 3 children were born in that farmhouse, rural area. And I grew up in Richmond County, Virginia, not to be confused with Richmond City. And that's where I went to high school.
Okay.
But I went right into the military out of high school. And I was able to get into a commissioning program and go to flight school and travel the world. But most of all, my best friend from high school,
yeah,
Bonnie, we were married in '77, so I was a sergeant at the time, and we both got to go back to college and finish our degrees together before I got commissioned and went to flight school. And then after that, we pretty much traveled the world together. Like I said, it was almost 35 years of active duty. And then I spent almost 8 years of contractor in civil service with the Marine Corps. So I've actually been both an active duty Marine and a civilian Marine like you.
Wow. Oh, how about that? I remember you were training the pilots, right?
Yes.
Right. But okay, but going back to your childhood, you say you were born and raised on a farm.
Well, I was born in a farmhouse, but I was raised around a dairy farm, seafood industry,
Seafood industry.
On the water.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So, your family, they were in that business. Is that?
Well, my family wasn't, but my neighbors were, and my parents' friends were in the seafood business. My father worked for Virginia Power.
Oh, okay.
He worked for them for almost 35 years before he retired.
Okay. And okay, so but you and then you referred to Mrs. Dungan as your best friend from high school.
Yes.
So how did you folks meet?
She crashed my 7th grade party, beach party, because her cousin.
Your party, like your
My
birthday party?
No, our 7th grade graduation party. Her cousin was a classmate of mine, and the way they delineated the line on which elementary school you went to depended on what side of the road you lived on. Well, she lived on the wrong side of the road.
She from the wrong side of the
Not
tracks.
really. No, so she came to the party with her cousin, and that's when I first met her. Was in the 7th grade.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
And you met her at that party.
Yes.
And was it like a love at first sight kind of thing? Were you attracted to her, or did you just kind of meet
I didn't
because
know
you were
who she
introduced?
was. No, I didn't meet her really. Well, I met her there, but we didn't become classmates until the 8th grade in high school. Our high school years were 8 through 12, so in 1969.
Wow. I was 2 years old. Oh my goodness. And so did you folks hit it off right away? Did you have an instant connection?
Well, we were friends, and then we dated off and on through high school. And she went to college. I went to prep school. I joined the Marine Corps. She was still in college, and then we got married in '77. But like I said, we both went back to college and got our degrees together.
Wow, that's great. So so right out of high school, you were dating in high school.
Yes.
And then when you got out of high school, and it sounded like you kind of went your separate ways a little bit, because she did college and you did.
Oh, we stayed in touch though.
But you stayed in touch.
Yeah.
So were you guys still like a couple, or were you kind of like just friends at that point?
Well, I'd say real good friends.
Real good friends?
We stayed in touch, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so how did it end up to where you guys decided, okay, we're going to have a life together and we're going to get into going to the Marine Corps? How did that happen?
I was already in the Marine Corps, and she was at Virginia Commonwealth University, and she wasn't enjoying school as much as she thought. And we decided to get married, but I was in the process of applying for a college degree program through the Marine Corps.
I see.
But we spent 3 years at Jacksonville, North Carolina, before I was selected to go to school. And then the Marine Corps sent me to the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh.
And when we moved there, she was able to go back to school at Baptist College, which later became Charleston Southern University.
Oh.
So she got her degree because she could transfer credits from Virginia Commonwealth. She graduated in December of '81, and I graduated in May of '82.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
That is so awesome. And you're one of those people, I remember you shared this with me before, where you started off as an enlisted man, and then somewhere through there you got your degree, and then you transferred into becoming an officer, right? How did that all work?
Well, I knew about this program even before I joined the Marine Corps. It was called the Marine Corps Enlisted Commissioning Education Program. And a corporal and sergeant could apply depending on what your grades were, your SAT scores or CLEP scores. And then they would send you to a prep school to get you ready to start college.
I see.
And then back then, it was only probably 12 colleges on the list that they would send you to. Now there's probably 100.
Oh.
And so I was a class of 39 candidates that were sent to school, and now I think they select 120 each year now. So I was selected to go to school on active duty, but I used my GI Bill to pay the tuition. But like I said, Bonnie got to go back to school, and she worked in the education department, and I'll put a plug in there for Navy Relief. She had a Navy Relief scholarship loan, which helped pay for her school, and that's why we donate to Navy Relief now.
I see. Oh, how nice. Wow. Okay, so how many years did you serve in the Marine Corps?
34 years, 5 months, and 9 days.
Wow. Wow. I still remember when you retired. You remember you folks had that bus?
Oh yeah, it was great. We did the chipping contest. We had the sushi martinis up on the hole 16.
Yeah.
And luckily the bus didn't get stuck when it drove down from the O Club to the 16th hole. And then we went back up to the O Club and continued the festivities for the retirement. But it was a surprise. I had no idea we were coming down to the golf course.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the O Club had set up all those sushi things because they know I like sushi.
Right.
And they threw in the chipping contest.
Right. We brought the mat out.
From 16. Yeah. So I think the wives enjoyed that more than the men did. Yeah.
I forget who was arranging that. It was either Colonel Blanchard or Colonel Carberry or both of them.
I'd imagine Colonel Carberry had something to do with that.
Yeah, I remember because that's right when I first started working here. So that was when did you retire?
In 2009.
2000, so a year after I started.
Yeah.
So I'd been around for about a year.
But Colonel Carberry was at that retirement because I was holding his daughter, May. And she was still probably less than 2 years old then.
Oh goodness, how old is she now?
Well, now she's getting, she's either a junior or senior in high school. She hasn't gone to college yet. No.
My goodness, how time flies. And speaking of kids, I remember when we first started having President Obama visit our base. My kids were very little. And so I'd come here oftentimes on my day off to assist with that operation, and I'd bring the kids with me, and then I'd put them in the Sam Adams grill.
Yes.
And they would eat breakfast and spend time with the staff in there. And I remember you would observe that all the time, and then because of you, we have my daughter has one of her most prized possessions. Yes. A picture with President Obama, because Colonel Dungan kind of whispered into one of the White House staffers' ears that little girl over there, today's her birthday. Yes. And she has to spend the day over here with her dad, who's over there working.
Exactly.
And, and it was so great.
That was good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, she loves it. Now, my son, on the other hand, is very jealous. But too bad for him. He's got other things.
Well, it was a good birthday gift for her.
It was wonderful. So thank you for that, too. No, but that was so thoughtful. But that's just the kind of person you are. But yeah, so, in the time when you were here as a base commander, right? What was that experience like?
Well, I had run a base in overseas.
Oh, you did?
Called Col Mark A.
Oh, it wasn't your first luau then?
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
But I was used to having a large staff, but this staff here, which had been here for a long time, was the reason I was successful, is because of the staff.
Oh, okay.
And if you listen to your staff, they'll tell you what needs to be done, and they know what needs to be done. And I think we made a lot of improvements just the short time I was the CO. But it all comes down to what's in the budget and what's planned, because most things take 5 years for construction, whether it's military construction or MCCS. It has to go into the big plan at headquarters. And so I think the things that we were able to do were finish the golf cart paths.
Yeah.
We didn't have those when I first came here.
Yeah.
The clubhouse was renovated. In fact, that was my last MCCS construction project, was the clubhouse and the driving range, and it was competing with the gas station at the front gate. And so for a while there, it was a debate was going on for several months, which one was going to win the contest. And I had some say in it. Maybe I influenced it. I said, if it was my choice, it would be the golf course.
Well, thank you very much.
So the golf course got done first in the clubhouse, but they also were able to put in the gas lanes as well. So we got a win-win.
Yes, absolutely. Well, that's so great, and thank you so much, because I remember, like for me, this is the first golf course I played, or this is the golf course I played my first high school golf tournament on. And when I played it, I mean, this beautiful view was here,
Yes.
but the golf course was almost the equivalent of Bellows Beach Park.
Well, yeah, yeah. There wasn't a lot of grass on these fairways back here.
No.
I started playing this course, or I should say play, in '99 when I was a squadron commander, and I had never played golf before. And so my officers gave me golf lessons one Christmas because I was
Who was your instructor?
Henry.
Saradsky.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Henry taught me how to hold a club, and it felt so awkward because I had never played golf before.
Right.
I had played, baseball and other sports.
Uh-huh.
So Henry taught me how to play golf, and I would only play the back nine on the weekend, and if I hit the fairway on 13, it was a successful day.
Mm-hmm.
If I broke 50, it was a real good day. And I could walk down from Hilltop because that's where I lived, and I only did the back nine for the first, I guess, 3 or 4 years.
Wow. Henry Saradsky. He was a great golf pro. I wonder where he's at now. Have you kept in touch with him at all?
No, Leland has told me he's back in, I think, California now, somewhere in the mainland. But
in California. Okay.
yeah, when I mentioned that Henry taught me, Leland knew him and so did Todd. But
Yeah.
that was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what you said about your tenure here as base commander is it's really interesting because for Kendrick and I, we work on the base, but we're civilians.
Yep.
So we know about like that much about Marine Corps,
You're civilian Marines.
Yes, we're civilian Marines, so we're very blessed. Actually, I was just telling my wife the other day that, I was telling her how much of a privilege it is for me to work here because, I have a great career here working at the golf course, serving golfers, with the years of experience that I have. I'm able to help give lessons, fit golf clubs, run operations, events, what have you. But I could do that anywhere, and I've done that for the last 40 years of my life. But this is the only place where it's kind of like got a dual purpose because not only do I get to serve golfers, but I get to serve those who serve our country. Because the golf course is here. There's only one reason the golf course is here on the Marine Corps base, and it's for R&R for the Marines and sailors. If it weren't for that, there's no need to have a golf course here. And so I get the honor and the privilege of serving those people who need this recreation, right? And so it's like, where else do you get to do that in the golf industry? It's a blessing. It's a double blessing.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but you not only fitted Mrs. Dungan, you fitted me for my first set of ping clubs, and I'm on my third or fourth set of ping clubs now that you fitted me in the last 20-some years, and I'm enjoying them. Thank you.
That's so great. No, but this is so wonderful, and that is the joy of being here because, when I was a young man and I was in high school, my guidance counselor suggested that I enlist in the military, and I was very rebellious, and so that was enough reason for me not to do it. And there was another kid that I had known who did do it, and in high school, this kid was kind of like like just the backdrop of the high school. You could not even see him. One of those types. There was one day when I drove past his house years later, he was pulling into his driveway. His car had a license plate that said veteran on it. He got out. He was wearing the khaki shirt and the dress slacks, and he had the hat. Well, I don't think he had it in his hand or something. But anyway, he got out and he had an aura about him, And it's just this kid that was just like the backdrop of the high school. I looked at him and I immediately had so much respect for him. And I thought, boy, you sure did make a mistake by not listening to your guidance counselor. And I carried that guilt with me for my whole life. But you know what? When I came to work here, I didn't even know what I was getting into. In fact, when I came to work here because I was working at Royal Cunea. And I was working in the pro shop there. And two of the guys that used to work there with me, one guy was Sam and one guy was Takeo. They were both retired Air Force. And they one day they cornered me and they said, "What are you doing here?" I said, "What do you mean? What am I doing? I'm working." They said, "You're wasting your time. So you should be working for the military." I said, "Working for the military?" I said, "What does the military want with someone like me? I am an Asian, local, civilian that knows absolutely nothing about the military. And they said, what do you think we are?
Yep.
He said, you go work for the military. Within 3 years, you'll acclimate to the culture. Everything will be fine. Wouldn't you know it? Within a month's time, this is back in the days of fax machines.
Yep.
A fax comes out of the machine. Kaneohe Klipper looking for an assistant golf professional. I look at that person to report to Todd Murata. Well, wouldn't you know it? I knew Todd Murata because we're both in the PGA.
Right.
You know, we're both PGA members. Anyways, so I pick up the phone. I call Todd Murata. I get an interview. Blah blah blah. Next thing you know it, I'm working here, right? And so it's just like, it's just amazing how life works that way.
Oh yeah.
Right? And so here I am now, all these years later, working for the Marine Corps, getting to serve. You know, it's just wonderful, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a third generation Marine. My grandfather was in World War I from 1917 to 1921. And then he had 6 sons and 1 daughter.
Wow.
In the Marine Corps. And in World War II, and then 1 son was lost in Korea.
Oh, sorry.
But third generation Marine. So I really enjoyed it. I wouldn't trade it for the world. If I had to do it all over again, I'd do the same thing, because we got to travel and see the world and see so many different people.
Yeah.
And then get to retire in this wonderful place.
Yeah, no, that's great. And then for me, it's like, I don't have quite that honor, but for me, I'm so blessed because, like I said, I saw that kid get out of his car. I immediately knew I made a big mistake. But when I went through the orientation for MCCS, and they told me, you're a civilian Marine, and then they gave us this pin. That's why I wear it every day, because it means something to me. And they said, and they said the civilian Marine is the one that serves the Marines. You know, I thought, oh my God. So I thought, what a blessing, because I missed my chance to serve, but I kind of get a little bit of an opportunity to serve in a little capacity, right? So I tell everyone, I'm the water boy on the football team.
No, you're
Every football team needs a water boy, and that's me, and I'm happy to do it.
Well, I did that when I was in the 8th grade.
Yeah, no, but so great stuff, Colonel Dungan. And then so you spent all your time in the Marine Corps. You've been all over the place. You were base commander here. You retired here. You served as a civilian for 8 years. You kind of I think you were, what did we say? You were teaching pilots, right? You were teaching.
I was running the aviation flight simulators here for a while.
Flight simulator, okay.
As a contractor, and then later on, when they couldn't find a deputy for operations and training, Colonel Anna Carrico called me and asked me to fill in for the deputy of operations and training, and I said I'd do it for a few years, and a few years turned into 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
And then my goal was to retire at age 60 and still enjoy, you know, activities like golf, and that's what I did.
Wow. And now you're back to work again.
And now, well, yeah, I'm back to work again, but I won't go into how I'm working now, though. But I still get to come out and enjoy the golf course once or twice a week.
Yeah, you do.
At least play with my retired friends.
Yes.
That also worked on the base.
Yes.
So there's a community of retired Marines, sailors, soldiers, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, you name it. They all come out here to play the Klipper because it's special.
Yes, it is special. Yes, I agree with you 100%. Well, I guess we kind of covered everything, Colonel Dungan. I know it took a little bit of time, but thank you so much for being here, being with us on our channel. I really wanted to do this because, you know, like I said, you know, dear friend, one of our regular customers here, this is your home course, our former base commander, and this was just a story we had to tell. So thank you for being here to tell the story for us.
Well, again, thank you for inviting me, Kevin.
Yes, sir, Colonel Dungan. Okay, but now we're here on hole number 13, and it's time. Are you ready to take the challenge?
Oh, yes.
All right, let's go grab the sticks, and we'll be right back to do that.
All right, thank you, Kevin.
All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the story, but stay tuned because Colonel Dungan is going to take the challenge, all right? Stay tuned. Hey, aloha, folks, and welcome back to the Klipper Golf Course. I'm here with Colonel Dungan, and he's going to take the challenge. You ready to go, sir?
I'm ready to go.
All right, so here we are, hole number 13, nice, beautiful par 4. We got the water on the right. We got the rest of the golf course on the left. Colonel Dungan, let's have at it. I know you've played this hole many, many times, right? What is your strategy here? How do you play this hole?
I aim for the left side of the fairway because I play a natural fade.
Got it.
So if you hit the left side, it's going to roll down and get a little bit of roll. It's a little bit firmer on the left side too.
Yes. So you're going to take it down the left side. You're going to let it fade in a little and roll down the hill.
Right.
All right. Well, sounds like a great plan.
Should end up where he is, I hope.
Very nice. Yeah. Okay. That's a good place to play in from. Oh my goodness, just like you drew it up, Colonel Dungan. Exactly how you said. Beautiful shot. All right, folks, so we're here. We're in the middle of the fairway. Colonel Dungan's hit a beautiful drive. And he was just selecting his club and talking through the selection process. I thought that was really good. This is good for people to hear. How did you arrive at that club selection?
I have a tailwind.
Yeah.
And so the 7-iron is going to travel further than I normally do.
Right.
I don't want to be in one of those sand traps if I happen to miss it. So I'd rather be short than long, because if you go over the back of this green, it's going to be tough.
Right. Safety first. All right. Here we go. There you go. That's the one.
There we go.
There you go, right in the front there. Nice shot. Okay, folks, here we are, green side. Colonel Dungan's put it right on the fringe here. 2 shots, has a driver 7-iron, strategically placed. And Colonel Dungan, we didn't even get into this, but what is your handicap?
Right now, my handicap is around an 18.
18, okay.
Because of shoulder surgery.
Right. Right, but okay, so that's fair. And you get a shot on this hole.
Oh yeah.
So you know the whole idea of the game for the I Survive Hole number 13 challenges, you must make net par or better.
Yep.
Well, you're here in 2. You still have 3 shots to go. Okay, folks. So let's see what Colonel Dungan can do.
Well,
you chose a putter.
Again, we have a tailwind.
Okay.
And I know it's going to break right.
Okay.
So I don't want to hit it too hard though.
Right.
But I do want to come in the left
that's a good
side.
choice. All right. The old Texas wedge.
Leland always told me to roll it if I could.
Yes.
Yeah.
Get in there. What a beautiful putt. You made it look too easy. You gonna tap that one in?
I'm gonna tap it in.
All right, tap it in. So, well, great job, Colonel Dungan. You have survived the hole. All right, folks, so Colonel Dungan survived the hole. Hey, he chose to play a really intelligent shot there. You know, an old pro friend of mine, Andrew Feldman, he was the head professional at Oahu Country Club. I once was eavesdropping on his conversation, and he told one of the members there, you putt whenever you can. You chip when you cannot putt, and you pitch the ball only when you have to. Good advice. Aloha, folks. We'll see you at the Klipper.
Aloha.